Hi you guys, welcome back. My name is Sarah. If you're new here, thanks for coming along. So today I want to talk about one of my new favorite plants I have actually. It's called the Kalenchoe Jurassic Kale. I got him about a year ago up in Waterwise Botanicals, and I thought he was super interesting when I saw him. He was the only one they had, and then I would say about beginning mid-December, he started doing something even more interesting. So I figured let's go ahead and learn something new about this little guy. Okay, so first let's have a little backstory about this guy. So he comes from Madagascar, which is an island located in the Indian Ocean, about 250 miles off the coast of East Africa. And Madagascar is really an island of a lot of biodiversity and a lot of uniqueness. In fact, about 90% of the plants and animals found on that island are endemic or native to that island alone. And they also have some of the most biodiverse plants. Okay, so many of the plants that we know and love, at least I know and love, are originated from there. So for example, about 80% of our pachypodiums and about 75% of our orchids come from Madagascar. So definitely a land of uniqueness, I would say. So the Kalenchoe Jurassic Kale, also known as the Kalenchoe prolifera, we will get to his prolific nature in just a few moments. Okay, so let's talk climate. Kalenchoes, for the most part in general, and this one is no exception, they prefer moderate temperatures. He can go down hardy. I found a couple different sites that down to about 35 degrees Fahrenheit, but that doesn't mean he's going to look his happiest at 35 degrees. He still is frost tender, so you do definitely want to protect him from any frost. Also, he prefers, as far as light requirements go, he likes moderate to shade. Moderate light to shade. So I definitely noticed during the summer, I had him sitting out in my front yard underneath which is an east-facing front yard. I had him underneath a palm tree, which I figured would give him plenty of shade. However, unfortunately, he still was getting a lot of hot southern sun, and it did sadly burn some of his leaves. So I'm definitely still in search of trying to find a good location for him, a more permanent location where I can kind of protect him from the sun but still give him enough light requirements. So he is considered a fast-growing succulent, and here's where Kalenchoe prolifera comes into play. These plants can grow up to 6 to 8 feet in height. Crazy, right? Now that being said, they don't grow as fast or probably as tall when kept in a pot. Container planting definitely can diminish plants' growing speed, but in nature, these guys have the possibility to get pretty tall. However, typically it looks like they tend to fall over before they can reach their true height, and that is where their name comes into play. When they fall, they keep growing. Their stalk sends out roots and shoots, and they grow out and spread. And in fact, in parts of Africa and Australia, they can be considered an invasive weed. But weeds are definitely in the eyes of the beholder. They also can be called mother of millions or mother of thousands, not to be confused with the other Kalenchoe that I've always called mother of millions. This one has little suckers on the edges of its leaves and is definitely a very prolific spreader. In fact, I only have one of these plants, and it's only because he hitched a ride on another plant that I purchased. As these plants grow, they put out these stalks. As these stalks die back, they leave these cool little edgings all along here. And here's these poor little burnt leaves. But this is super cute. They're like little green boats. This one's pretty perfect right here. So in about December, this plant started putting off blooms, little hanging boxes. Definitely one of the most unique blooms I'd ever seen. And then a couple weeks after that, these boxes bloomed, these beautiful little pink flowers. Now I've got conflicting stories about this plant being monocarpic, which means after the plant blooms, the mother plant dies. But usually not before she puts off a bunch of pups. Many plants in the succulent world are monocarpic. Agaves are monocarpic. Kalenchoe lucea, or paddle plant, is as well. Sadly, my paddle plant is blooming and no pups yet to be seen. So I might be out of luck there. However, similar looking to agaves are aloes, but thankfully they are not monocarpic. Right now in San Diego, many of the aloes are all starting to bloom right now, and they are so gorgeous. So back to my plant. So the blooming stem will die back, but shoots should form under this, creating new plantlets. So that doesn't sound as dire as when I hear a plant is monocarpic. I guess time will tell. Speaking of time, it looks like it takes a plant about 2 years to reach maturity enough to bloom. Well, I guess I have a few months to enjoy these blooms, and then we will see what happens. They did say that these blooms last quite a while. I will say if they're referring to the specific hanging little flowers, they did not last quite a while in my opinion. They probably lasted about a week and a half. But these boxes have been blooming, so to speak, for quite some time. Okay, well, hope you guys enjoyed that little educational video. I know I sure did. It's always fun to take some time, set it aside to go and learn something about your plants. If any of you guys have this plant or are familiar with the plant, please go ahead and comment below with any information you might have, because I would greatly appreciate it. I'm off to go pull some weeds. I've got tons of them over here. We had a nice big rain over this past week or so, and we definitely needed the rain. With rain comes weeds, unfortunately. So I'm off to go do that before the ground gets too hard, and it's so much more fun to pull them while they actually come up. And yeah, so thanks so much for coming along. Catch you guys again on the next video. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.